How's it going, everybody? Hopefully, you guys are having a great day. Just wanted to come on here and talk some NBA basketball. So many things going on around the association. We have the first trade of the offseason, right? Austin Rivers going to the Wizards for Marcin Gortat. I'll give you my opinion on the trade a little bit after, but I do want to go over some of the topics that I want to discuss about. Magic Johnson pretty much saying that he's going to step down if the Lakers don't do what they should, which is sign at least two big time free agents. He said it himself. So it's a little bit similar to what Vladdy said. I think it was right after the DeMarcus trade, if they don't make the playoffs or something like that. So the GM has confidence in himself, and I like to see that. Also, the NBA awards, James Harden winning MVP. Was that a surprise? Was Ben Simmons winning Rookie of the Year a surprise to you? Was Dwayne Casey winning Coach of the Year a surprise to you after getting fired from the Raptors? I thought that was very awkward, honestly. Let me know what you guys think about that. We can go over the NBA awards. Lou Williams winning Sixth Man of the Year. Victor Oladipo winning Most Improved, and then him singing. What do you think about the NBA awards show overall? We had a performance yesterday as well, and of course TNT's crew with Ernie Johnson, Kenny the Jet Smith, Shaquille O'Neal, and Charles Terrible Barkley. And then we'll talk about free agency, possibly in the future being a week before or taking place a week before the NBA draft. That is a story that just broke on ESPN from Zach Lowe. I thought it was very interesting. The idea that the Houston Rockets are proposing that free agency takes place at least a week before the NBA draft. How would that change things? Would that change things? I think that would be a massive change in the NBA world. That I think they should do that personally. Very similar to what the NFL does. They have free agency first, and then they have the draft. So you kind of know what you're going to do in terms of, or what you're looking for when you fill in your whole free agency. I would be awesome. That would eliminate all this. LeBron James, is he going to come? Is he not? For the teams that do want him and are serious about signing him. That's what I think, at least, about that. Join the conversation. You guys can call in. The number is inside the description. I don't know about heart. I should. I can give it to you guys right now. I think the number is 209. I don't even know the number to this. 209. Oh, it's 209-565-3079. It's 209-565-3079. What do I think about this trade? Phillip Rivers, Austin Rivers for Gortat. That pretty much tells me that the Wizards were trying to get rid of his contracts. I actually like the Polish Hammer a lot. It also tells me that they may be in contention or cooking something up to get DeMarcus Cousins in free agency. They still have to clear a lot of cap space, but adding Austin Rivers to a line above a backcourt of John Wall and Bradley Beal gives you a guy who can come in as a serviceable backup, maybe fill in some holes when time is due if someone gets injured. I like the move. And for the Clippers, it gives them a solid NBA center. If DeAndre Jordan opts out, then they have a very good backup plan. I think Gortat can start on any team, honestly, except for the teams that have the unicorns, right? The all-star bigs. He's a very solid basketball player. So I like the move for both parties. It's interesting, too, because now we don't have the father-son connection since Doc Rivers is no longer in the front office. He's only coaching the team, which I thought he should have been doing for a while. It's going to eliminate a lot of the pressure and the things that he doesn't have to do. Wearing so many hats in an organization, it's not always a good thing. it distracts you from the main goal, which is winning basketball games. And now that everything's back to normal in that sense, I think the Clippers can be solid. They still have a solid roster. Jerry West is behind all that. So I have a lot of faith in the guy. I can't wait to see what happens with the Clippers. Patrick Beverley coming back, Teodosic coming back as well. And then them drafting Shea. And then the other kid they drafted as well, another guard. I'm slipping on his name. But I like what the Clippers are doing. No question about it. What's the text line saying? Go Mexico. That's right. Tomorrow. Wait, let's go Nigeria. I mean, they lost. Mexico sucks. They're going to lose. Wally Clarkson, Zebo, multiple second rounders for Otto Porter. I love your channel, Leo. Appreciate you, man. Charlie's on. Who's your favorite free agency small forward? So we'll get to all that in a little bit. What do you guys think about what I just said about having free agency a week before, at least, I would say 2 weeks, but at least a week before the NBA draft? How would that change the complexion of the entire NBA? I mean, that would be game changing for a lot of teams. And then you would be able to draft guys that are prospects that you really want. Not worrying about, oh, I already have this position, or I may go after this guy in free agency, so I'm not going to draft a certain guy. I think it's very interesting. So my favorite small forward, before we get into more stuff, I like Hazonia, but talent-wise, I think there's no denying that Jabari Parker may be the most talented. Obviously, after the tier 1 guys, which is Paul George and LeBron James. But a healthy Jabari Parker, he's more of a 3-4, can play the small ball 4 due to some of his injuries and limiting his athleticism. I like Jabari Parker a lot. So if he's healthy, that warrants a max contract. The Kings gave George Hill, again, the Kings gave George Hill $19 million. Jabari Parker will get $19 million from the Kings. If I'm his agent, I'll be like, dude, you gave George Hill $19 million. My guy is 24, 25 years old, whatever he is now. The dude was 30 when it happened. So for all the guys that say, oh, this guy's not worth so much money, no. The Kings are in no position to say you're not worth X amount of money. You're going to have to overpay for a lot of these guys. I do want to talk about my other video, which came out yesterday, talking about the top 3 NBA teams that did damage in the NBA draft. What do you guys think about that? I had the Chicago Bulls number 1, the Suns number 2, and the Hawks number 3. I thought it was interesting to see what Travis Schlenk did, drafting clones or guys that are very similar to the Splash Brothers and Draymond Green with Spellman. I thought that was really interesting, you know, drafting Kevin Huerter and Trae Young and Spellman from Villanova. They want to do the Draymond, Clay, and Steph. We'll see how that works. I'll definitely keep my eye out for Atlanta Hawk fans and see what they do. I'm very interested and intrigued. Also, love what the Suns did, adding Mikal Bridges, trading away Miami's 2019 pick, and Zaire Smith at 16. I thought that was a great move from the Suns. Now you have Josh Jackson and Mikal Bridges, lots of youth and length and defensive acumen at that position. I can't wait to see what the Suns do. And then you had the Bulls. They added a lot of talent with Wendell Carter, one of the most solid bigs, prospects in this draft. Then you go out and get one of the best, I would say, scores in the draft in Chandler Hutchinson. I really love that pick. That pick up at, I think it was 21 or 22. I don't recall. But regardless, it was a great pickup. They passed on their guy, which a lot of people thought that Michael Porter Jr. would end up in Chicago. They said, nope, we're going with the safe pick in Wendell Carter, and then we can pick up a guy who's very similar in that regard in Chandler Hutchinson. So I love what they did there. They got a 2-for-1 type deal. I just think their future is very bright with Lauri Markkanen and Wendell Carter. And then you have Zach Levine, Chris Dunn, and Chandler Hutchinson. That's going to be a really nice team. You also have Denzel Valentine there still. Let me think. They got Bobby Portis. So they got a lot of interesting pieces. Fred Hoiberg has a fun job, I think. The way he plays freely, up tempo, it's going to be fun to see him put it all together. So saying the Bulls, Hawks killed it. I don't think it would change anything. Teams are going to try to build super teams. Shane Babka. Do you know if Harry is going to be on the restriction? I don't know yet if Harry Giles would be on a restriction. I would think so, especially after being so cautious for an entire year. But I wouldn't be surprised if he's not on one because he did take an entire year. So I don't know, but as soon as I do, as soon as I find out, I will make sure to tweet it out or say it on an Instagram story or even come on here and say it. So just stay tuned, have your notifications turned on. Appreciate your guys' support. Perez says, or Tony says, Stockton Kings, baby. I want Trevor Ariza. Who on this chat wants Trevor Ariza? I'm not digging that type of a pickup, especially after him saying that he wants X amount of dollars. I mean, I was like, dude, you're hella old. You're not going to get that on this market, especially with so many teams not having that much cap space. I don't believe the Kings will, give him 15 to 20. That'd be ridiculous to me. That's something that's different when it comes to offering the guy money. If he's young enough, like a Hazonia or a Jabari Parker, that's completely different than offering a dude that's 30. He's like 30, 33, 34, if I'm not mistaken. So that's how I feel about it. I want Ronnie Hood because he might be cheap. You don't want nobody because they might be cheap. You want somebody because they can ball. I don't think Ronnie Hood can ball. I don't think he's that good of a player. There's a reason why the Jazz got rid of him. We saw a lot of his deficiencies with Cleveland. He's not very good. I'm not very high on him. So I wouldn't like for the Kings to sign Ronnie Hood. Nothing against him as a person, everything to do with on the court. So I want to clarify that. Denver got a steal with MPJ. I think that's value. Just like the Kings got value with Harry Giles at 20. I kept saying it, from the start. Anywhere from 7 to 20. I thought it was good value for Michael Porter, but when the Kings were serious about drafting him at 2, I thought that was a huge mistake, which is why he fell. His guy Borenstein, his agent, wasn't releasing a lot of information. That's what you get. The way he approached it was the wrong way. Obviously, he fell to 14, almost out of the lottery, but it is what it is. Hopefully, now that he landed on a good team, pretty much on the playoff team. I mean, they should have made the playoffs. He's going to be in a good situation with a lot of talent around him. I love the Nuggets. The Nuggets offering Jokic pretty much 5 years, $147 million. That is what they should do. He's one of the best centers in the game, one of the best passing centers, if not the best passing center in the NBA. I can't think of a better one right now. I love Jokic. I love Jamal Murray. I wasn't very high on Jamal Murray, I'll be honest, coming out of Kentucky, but he had a really good season last year. I love Gary Harris. Their guy that comes off the bench that scores a lot. I'm slipping on his name right now. And then they have someone else. Oh, they have Paul Millsap. They have Paul Millsap, who was injured most of last year. But if he comes back healthy, that should be a very fun team to watch with Michael Porter, who can fill in that small forward position, something that they really, really need. So I like what the Nuggets are doing. Definitely love what the Nuggets are doing. They should throw the bank. Someone saying reason wouldn't come here. Love your shirt. What they say though. Oh, it says need more cowbell. So get your merch, y'all. Are you over Luca yet? No. No. We're gonna have a lot of Mavericks coverage on this channel for sure. HP Celtics. Oh, love what the Celtics did. They pretty much didn't bite on any trade to move up and give up assets. What they did was the fact that they can attract winning and they're such a good, well-ran organization. They got Mitchell Robinson. Sorry, it was Robert Williams. They got Robert Williams at 28 or 29. The dude slipped that much. She has that Clint Capella type game. God, I mean, what were the odds of that kid slipping that much and then them just picking them up like that? It was mind-boggling, and I'm jealous, but definitely the right move to draft that kid. He has a lot of potential, especially now that he's going to an organization that all he has to do is rebound and block shots and play good defense. I mean, not much pressure. He can develop with a lot of patience. You have Al Horford to learn from. That's just a perfect situation, man. That was definitely a blessing in disguise for that kid to land with that organization. So shout out to you, So Rebels. What do you think about starting five for next year? They should not throw the bank at Murray. I love the Bulls right now. I do too. I wonder if Bag can play small forward. I highly doubt it. I don't think he will play small forward. I was upset when Vlade said that. I even asked him in that press conference, which already the video has like 70,000 plus views. What I don't get is when we do some dope videos, we'll edit and produce. They don't get much views, but we do a press conference and it just goes wild. Pisses me off. Anyways, thank you guys for the views and for the support. But I think after that, when he said he can play small forward, I pretty much asked him. I was in the back, so I didn't have a microphone, but I kind of yelled out and pretty much said, if he ever thought about coming back into the lottery to trade for Michael Porter, since he was slipping, and a lot of speculation from the Nuggets that they were trying to give up number 14 and Kenneth Faried. So I thought, if Vlade's really high on Michael Porter, why not trade back for number 14 and draft the guy that he really wanted, right? If it wasn't for injuries, the Kings would have drafted him on number 1. There's no question in my mind, honestly. So, and he pretty much shrugged it off, and he avoided every question. He avoided every Luka question. I'll be honest, I didn't like that. And then he pretty much said that they had a super team, which I don't agree with. And then he pretty much said that that Bagley can play small forward, which he's never done, at least in college. So I don't see that transitioning very well, especially if he can't stretch out the floor. We'll see what happens, though. I'm confident that he can come in and get you 10 boards a game right off the bat. I'm confident that the coaching staff can turn him into a respectable defensive player. He has the agility, the quickness, the athleticism to be that. So I'm hoping for the best in that area, but definitely he's going to give you a lot of offensive rebounds, lots of hustle, and he can get you some buckets. So I'm excited about that part. And as I've said in the other podcast that I had with Chris Axman, he's an upgrade. He's going to be consistent, and that's what I like about it. All these guys in the top 5 are upgrades to me for in any position. So I like what they did there. What are people saying? Luka is bummy. Sean Paul, do you think Harry will take Wild's spot while trading it? All these questions about the Kings, we'll answer and we'll have a better idea once we start watching them develop in Summer League and SAC and then in Las Vegas and in preseason. So I have more clarity on that end, watching the team practice a little bit more. Right now, it's all speculation. If I'm going to tell you some stuff, it's going to be a lie. So I'd rather not. And again, Summer League is right around the corner next week, so I can't wait for that. I think Vlade was sour because nobody wants to play for him. Letting that dude go to New York last year was a huge mistake. Yeah, it wasn't a mistake in terms of giving that guy who's what's his name? My gosh, Perry. Letting Perry go to the Knicks, it was the right thing to do. If you're trying to move up in this industry, you have to allow him to go. Scott Perry. So, yeah, Scott Perry is very connected, but at the same time, you had to let him go. It was the right thing. If you believe in good karma, then that was the right thing to do. But yeah, it did hurt when the Kings lost Scott Perry to the Knicks, because he went on to take a GM position for them. Yeah, we'll for sure be vlogging and giving you guys a behind the scenes look in summer league in Sacramento. So Chris Axman, he's a Mavericks guy. The podcast is up if you want to go ahead and watch that as well. Edward, 13 teams passed on MPG for a reason. MPJ, sorry. King should have held on to Scott Perry agents at least, like Scott Perry. Yeah, I'll be going to Vegas for the first 2 days of the tournament. So I'll be there in Vegas giving you guys exclusive coverage as well. Jabari Parker must be a target. I agree. He should be a target. Fox not playing Summer League. You're going to watch Mexico tomorrow. I am. I'm waking up pretty early tomorrow. Have a big day tomorrow. It was to respect his wishes. Right. I wanted Luka or MPJ. I was pissed, to be honest. Right. And, again, I had to ask Fly the question because I knew how high he was on Michael Porter, which was strange. But I guess they did try to move back. And at that point, the Nuggets were like, well, this kid easily could have been, a top 3 pick last year if he would have came out of high school. So why not? They don't have to get rid of Fareed. So I understood it from the Nuggets perspective. So they didn't move Fareed since he only has a year left anyway. And then they drafted a very coveted small forward at number 14. Will it pan out? We'll see. This is the same questions with Harry Giles. I mean, the dude had 2 major knee surgeries. So even if he turns out to be great, you have to, worry about a Joel Embiid situation. What if he only plays 50 out of 80 games every year? Will you be happy? I mean, that's a question that you have to pose, right? I hope he's 100%. But anytime you have major injuries coming into the league, you're more likely to have more injuries compile, and it's rare when they don't. But again, I'm wishing for the best, and we just have to be realistic about these things. I don't want to come on here and lie to you guys. So that's that. Call you Larry Hernandez. I waited for tomorrow. Should the Kings try to get IT back? The Kings should not try to get IT back. Was sort of disappointed the Kings didn't use second round pick on Kata, but yeah, dude, I was so upset. I don't know if he was following me on Twitter. I kept saying I just couldn't believe that they passed on Kata Bates Diop. That was ridiculous to me. My gosh, he would have came in and been the starting small forward. At least right now, you know what I mean. Like I think he's better than Justin Jackson. Wanted the Memphis extra pick. Oh well, yeah, me too. Kumpo's little brother went last. Yeah, Giannis' little brother went last. Do you believe that Vlade truly believes Bagley is going to be better than Luka, or did someone else make that pick? Vlade made the pick. I can confirm that. Vlade made that pick, and it was strange that he thought he was better, especially because of his European connects and stuff like that. But at the same time, think about it. I know what I don't like about Grant coming on the show was pretty much saying that Vlade knew better. I don't know why he keeps phrasing it that way. Like because Vlade is European, he has all these connects that he knows Luka Doncic, but at the same time, Vlade's drafted 1 European and he failed miserably with Papagiannis. So he's 0 for 1. So I don't want to hear how great of a European scout he is because he's not. Until he drafts 4 guys and he gets 3 out of 4, then we'll say he's a great European scout, or he has great European connects, or he's a great European evaluator. Until then, he's not that. So I don't want to hear any of that because it's nonsense. Don't bash Luka for being a great prospect. And again, I'm not bashing Bagley for being a good prospect. I wouldn't have passed on Luka, but that's my opinion. That doesn't mean I don't like Bagley. Like it had nothing to do with me not liking Bagley. I love Bagley. But at the same time, my number 1 rated prospect was Luka Doncic for many reasons. So I like Luka more than every player, more than Aiden. So it's not a knock on Aiden. It's not a knock on Jaren Jackson. It's not a knock on Bagley. It's me loving this particular prospect that I thought would have came in and made an impact. And I believe he's going to do the same thing for the Mavericks. I thought he fell in the best situation for him, honestly. So I'm happy for that. I think Bagley will be very good for the Kings. And I keep saying that. People confuse me not liking Bagley because I wanted Luka. Like, it has nothing to do with that. And I want to be very clear about that. Tell you the truth, I did not want the Kings to draft a guy who they did not work out. What about Malachi Richardson? Back should be a solid, but I'm just worried that at the moment they have 6 bigs. Too much sun in the background. Too much sun. Let's see. Oh, my sun. Let's see if I can just move. All right. So it is too much sun in the background. How long are you gonna stream? I'm gonna wake up earlier tomorrow for obvious and drunk. I'll be drunk. That's funny. I'm not gonna be drunk. I wish. But I'm not going to. What if Luka said no to us if we picked him? That was never going to happen. I promise you. I put my name on the line for that. Like, that was never going to happen. He would have been so happy to be in Sacramento. I know for a fact. So that was never true. Like, that was all the blog sphere going crazy because there was nothing else to talk about. Literally. Luka's not that type of guy. His dream has always been to play in the NBA. He would have played for any team, let alone the Kings, let alone a team that has 2 Serbian legends and Bogi Bogdanovic, who he's very familiar with and good friends with. Like, that wasn't going to happen. Luka's mom is hot. She's very presentable. I'll say that. She's very pretty. Edward says you speak the truth, Leo, on Luka. You know, I try to do my best, yo. I try to do my best. Luka's mom is hot. I gotta love that. But again, Harden won MVP 2 months later. What do you guys think about that and about Ben Simmons? I was upset about Ben. That was the only award that I didn't agree with. To me, Donovan Mitchell was a rookie of the year. Any other year, he would have won it. He should have won it this year. I don't get it. But at the same time, I see why people are infatuated with a 6'8" point guard who doesn't take a shot. But, you know, that's a different story for a different day. But, yeah, I wasn't happy about that. And then, again, Rivers for Gortat. What do you guys think? Who won that trade? I already said my opinion on that. I like Rivers being a 3rd, 4th guard. And then they also added Troy Brown, which I'm super high on. So I'm happy with what the Wizards are doing right now. Maybe they might get Boogie Cousins. That can be a good pickup for them. And then Gortat gives the Clippers a nice backup plan if DeAndre Jordan does opt out of his big-time contract, which I don't think he will, but we'll see. Friday is deadline. What about a sign and trade for teams like the Wiz, Magic, or Lakers, Porter, Gordon, or Randall? I don't have sunglasses. They actually protect me from the blue light. Which when you edit as much as I do, edit video, you need to be protected from the blue light because your eyes start like squinting and your eyes really hurt. So these glasses are Gunner. I'm trying to get an endorsement deal with them right now. So reach out to them and be like, man, I gotta be a huge sponsor for Cowbell Kingdom. They always wear your glasses. I'm talking to them right now, as a matter of fact. So hopefully we can land that deal with Gunner Optics. That would be great. Again, if you guys know any businesses that would want to be on the Cowbell Kingdom platforms, let me know. Shoot me a DM. That would also be a great. High in the sky. Think so. But yeah, lots of news. We'll do this again tomorrow from the Renaissance Tower. in Sacramento. But other than that, man, thank you guys so much for all the support. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Go Mexico. I hope they win tomorrow. Peace.